Hey, it's Minute Book Reports, and this is my one book haul video for the next book I'm going to read for this YouTube channel, and that book is Othello from William Shakespeare. And I wanted to read more Shakespeare because I think it's very helpful for other people, but also it's been a while since I read Shakespeare, and now as an adult, now as someone who doesn't have to read it for scholastic academic purposes, I can just read it and enjoy the story. And that's what I'm looking forward to with all the Shakespeare stories that I get a chance to reread now later on in life. So I just want to share some of my thoughts before reading Othello on what I think the story is going to be about, what I hope to get out of it, things like that. So why did I pick Othello? Well, like I mentioned, I am reading for fun. And the ability to be able to read Shakespeare now where there's no pressure is nice. You know, I can choose to read whatever I want, and in that choice I can take my time. I don't have to read as if I need to answer questions at the end of whatever act I'm gonna read for Othello. I can just read it and enjoy the story, and that's why I picked it. I like all of these Shakespeare sort of plays. It's just that in school we never had an opportunity to really enjoy it. I was often given assignments to sort of test if I read the story or not, and that sucked out any enjoyment or pleasure I might have had from even just the story, let alone from reading as an activity. I couldn't enjoy the story because I was being quizzed all the time. And so I wanted to go back and reread a lot of these different Shakespeare plays because now I have none of that pressure. I wish there was a way that I could have been tested back then in high school or in middle school with reading to make sure that I actually read, but in a way that didn't sort of interfere with the enjoyment of reading, with the enjoyment of the story. I don't know what could have happened back then, but maybe in a future video I'll talk about that. But I feel like when schools force people to read because they want to quiz them, they don't want to read. And it's unfortunate that Shakespeare is a major casualty of this sort of system where people get assigned to read Shakespeare and they're already turned off because the language is difficult. It's not something that people are used to. Some of the word choices are difficult. Even if you're reading the modern sort of translations, it's still different. So I feel like Shakespeare is taking a real hit there. But if Shakespeare or other texts were taught or tested or evaluated in ways that it wasn't so turn-off-ish, maybe I wouldn't need to feel like I have to reread things as an adult to enjoy them. So what do I think Othello will be about? You know, I'm an English major. I should probably know what all the Shakespeare plays are about, but the reality is I don't remember. I think that it's about a man who falls in love with a woman, and I know there's a character named Iago who is very sneaky, and I think that Iago tells Othello a lie that gets him upset with the woman that he is trying to be in a relationship. And I know that they can't be in a relationship because I believe he's a Moor, so dark-skinned, and the woman character, I don't remember the name, she is like white, but maybe like royalty white or some kind of like aristocracy, like she's wealthy. So I think they can't be together because of not just the background of their ethnic background, but also maybe some kind of class structure. That's all I know. I wish I knew more, and it is embarrassing that I don't, but I'm looking forward to finding out. So what I think of the book cover? Well, it's kind of hard because Othello being a play, there was really no book cover back then, or it would have just been text. But there are a lot of interesting book covers that are out there for Othello. A lot of them show sort of anger. A lot of them show this tragic love. But some of the book covers that I really appreciate are the ones that have Othello and I believe it's Iago whispering into his ear. And I like that because that's some of the psychological, I think, treasures in what I hope is in this story. Is not just about a love story. It's about Othello being driven to this place where he doesn't want to be, and then him acting out on that. That is the real tragedy. You know, it's a real tragedy if they can't be together. But I think what makes it an even more sort of tragic situation is we as the audience, we can see what's going to happen. You know, we know what's going on. Just like with Romeo and Juliet, we know it's a mistake and it's happening, and that these two kids, they will not be able to be together, but they were so close. And I think with Othello, we're going to get something like that, where we're going to get this background view, because we're the audience, we're the reader. We get to see all the things that are happening in the background. And that's what makes it so tragic. And I think that's what Shakespeare does a really great job on, is creating that. And I'm hoping to sort of enjoy that more with this book. So what do I hope to get out of Othello? Well, pretty much just an appreciation for Shakespeare as a storyteller. And so I just want to relax, sit back, and sort of watch this sort of tragedy happen, when you're thinking, why are you doing this? You know, those are one of the best moments as a reader, when you're watching a story unfold and you're like, what are you doing? Why are you doing that? Why don't you just go like this and things work out for you? But the characters in the story, they never see that, because they're the ones actually in the story. And in a way, it's a reflection of the tragedy in real life, where we see people in real life and we are watching their lives sort of happen in front of us, and we're like, why are you doing that? Why are you making that choice? Why are you not able to see the things that are gonna happen because of the choices that you make now? And of course, you know, people are like, oh, just mind your own business, you have no idea what you're talking about. And it's tragic. And it's one of those things that the older you get, you look back on the younger people, you look back even on older people, but you really look back on younger people, and you just think, oh my goodness, the mistakes and the life that they are creating for themselves. And you just wonder, what could I do more to help them? But you can't. And that's the tragedy. And although Shakespeare, again, it's a different time. The story is taking place long time ago. Those principles of an audience looking at a story, especially a love story, and just screaming like, what are you doing? You're making a huge mistake. That's still relatable today. And those are the things that I'm looking forward to get out of the story, is to experience that, because, you know, we experience that in real life, but to see that connection in a tragedy, in a play, and connect it to sort of to real life, and how we may view tragedies happening as they're happening in real life. I'm hoping to sort of make those connections, you know, as both the reader and as an observer in real life. You know, in real life, we have a little more control over preventing those things because they're happening in real time. We can't do that in a story. It's already pre-written. But what is the audience's feeling in both of those cases? Can we learn anything from being a sort of powerless reader, and how we can apply that to being an observer in real life? When we see other people's lives sort of falling apart, is there anything that we can take away from that experience as the reader to apply to ourselves in real life? That's what I'm hoping to sort of see and investigate and to experience. Now, I don't know if that's true. Maybe they're very different and they're not relatable and they're not connected, but I feel like they are connected in a way. And when tragedies are sort of developing in Shakespeare, we can see tragedies develop in real life. And what can we do about it? Maybe we'll be more motivated because as a reader, we can't do anything for this tragedy. We just have to sit back and watch. But in real life, we can do something. We can be more active. And maybe that's a lesson for observers, for the readers, that, yeah, you watch this play unfold and it was bad. You couldn't make a difference in their lives because they're characters, right? They're just following a script. But you have an opportunity to do that in real life. You can make a difference, and you can go out there and warn people and help people and assist them and guide them. And maybe there's a connection there. So that's what I'm looking forward to the most. That's what I'm hoping to get out of this story. So those are my thoughts on Othello. I'm going to make follow-up videos on, you know, as I read the play, and then I'll make a sort of summary and some other videos about Othello. But I'm really looking forward to Shakespeare. I'm really looking forward to the opportunity to just read and relax and just enjoy it, and just be that observer, that reader, you know, that person in the audience who just gets to watch it and enjoy it without any quizzes, without any tests, without any projects or papers, just to enjoy it. So thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. Bye.